All right, playoff or takeoff. So the staff's going to give me a bunch of teams, and I'll say, do they make the playoffs? I look at their schedule, their injuries, who's coming back, who's leaving, who's moved, who did you acquire? Joy, here we go.
And now, Colin will decide if a team is headed for the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Or taking off for vacation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please strap yourself in securely.
It's playoff or takeoff.
All right, Colin. Eagles, playoff or takeoff?
Playoff. Okay, all their guys are getting healthy. Jalen Reagor, Dallas Goedert, the tight end. Jason Peters, we're back this week. Lane Johnson, Miles Sanders, going to return after the bye. Then you have a pretty good team. And that's a team that can compete. And they're 7-4-1 in their last 12. Here's an interesting thing. 9 of the Eagles' last 12 touchdowns have come from players promoted from the practice squad the last 2 years.
No practice squad more valuable in the league than the Philadelphia Eagles.
No question.
The Dallas Cowboys, playoff or takeoff?
Takeoff. Yeah. Their offense is pathetic. They have 1 touchdown since Dak got hurt, and their defense is the worst in the league. I think the Jets would beat them if they played today. I think they're the worst team in the NFL. Because I think the Jets are at least giving you a little effort, and Darnold would make plays. So it's the worst team in the NFL.
Chicago Bears, playoff or takeoff?
As much as I like Matt Nagy, takeoff. Yeah. Nick Foles has thrown a pick in 6 straight games. That's the longest streak in the NFL. So you're getting, he may be a better thrower of the football than Trubisky, but he makes a lot of mistakes. And they have the lowest scoring differential above any team 500 or better, meaning, they can win, but it's ugly. They kind of have one way to win, which generally tells you don't make the playoffs.
The Detroit Lions, playoff or takeoff?
Takeoff. Yeah, I don't get this. I don't get that. Matt Patricia is 12-26-1. By the way, Kenny Galladay's hurt again. He's a huge weapon. When he's hurt, they don't win. 2 of their 3 wins have come against the Jags and the Falcons. I don't get it. A lot of people that I respect love Detroit, and I'm like, I don't think the players buy into the coach. I think their defense has been a problem, not just their offense, and they have a defensive head coach.
The Saints, playoff or takeoff?
Playoff. A wild card team. Here's the good news. 1 of 2 teams in the NFL that have gone undefeated since week 4, and they've outgained people in that stretch by almost 400 yards. Michael Thomas coming back. Their schedule also really lightens up. So they face Tampa this weekend. That's a real game. But after that, it's the beat-up Niners, Falcons, Denver Falcons. They got a lot of W's here. They got Atlanta twice. They may be looking for a better draft spot, so they're going to make the playoffs.
The LA Rams, playoff or takeoff?
Playoff. Tough division. Here's the thing. They have the best second half point differential in the league. So they make adjustments at half. The Rams do a good job after half. They're out of games, they get into games. Secondly, they have the largest yardage differential in the NFL this year, almost 900 yards. So when you watch the Ram games, they move the ball. They make a lot of mistakes, even on Goff's bad days. They move it. So they tend to be a team that comes in, they adjust at half, they move the ball. When they don't have mistakes, they win. So it's a playoff team. I just don't think it's a playoff team that can win 2 games.
How about the Cardinals, playoff or takeoff?
Would love to embrace them, but in that division, it's going to be a takeoff. I think their schedule gets a little tougher now. They got the Dolphins, the Bills, the Seahawks coming up. Those are tough games. Most penalized team in the NFL, 8 penalties. They're inconsistent. They've also played the second easiest schedule in the NFL so far. So it's a little bit of a mirage. Schedule gets tougher. And, I think they're wildly entertaining. They're the opposite of the Bears. They're really fun to watch. But I think, like the Bears, there's ceilings on they got firepower but make too many mistakes.
Miami Dolphins, playoff or takeoff?
I think they'll fight. I'd probably go takeoff at this point. Again, the schedule gets interesting. At Arizona this weekend's not easy. Chargers and Broncos. I mean, even the Bengals game. You think, the Bengals game. Bengals can score. They're on a 3-game winning streak. But I have some limitations on what I see offensively with Tua. I just got to give me more. I got to see more. But I think it's really close with them. Really close.
The Patriots, playoff or takeoff?
No, Takeoff. They're 19 a game. They're a mess. I don't even think anybody disputes. It's a restructuring. You can call it what you want, rebooting, but tank. You can call it whatever you want. They're not a viable team.
The Browns, playoff or takeoff?
Playoff. I like them. Yeah, their schedule gets real easy. I mean, their only losses this year have come to the Raiders, the Ravens, and the Steelers. At least they're losing to good teams. And here's the other thing about their defense: they get turnovers and they get to the quarterback. They've created 14 turnovers this year. That's like tied for most in the NFL. So they pressure the quarterback. That means they get turnovers. So it's a good team. I don't think it's a great team. You can't rely on Baker in big spots. But and I thought last week was a bad look, but they're a playoff team.
The Raiders.
I think that game last week, I think they're a playoff team. I was wrong. Yeah, I think that game last week, that was a play. You go back and you go, oh, that got us into the playoffs. They also have an incredibly easy schedule going forward. They have the highest scoring drive efficiency in the NFL, meaning 53% of the time they get the ball, they score. They're explosive. They can go over the top. They can pound the football. They can eat the clock. We just saw last weekend they can win terribly ugly. So, I think the Raiders are it's working. I thought Gruden and Mike Mayock are working. And I like the idea that they can win multiple ways. Last week was just ugly, run the ball, be great on third down. Not Raider football, but kind of Gruden football. 35-mile-an-hour wins, and they won. Playoff or takeoff.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.